back to Unfiltered Media. Guys, we have some huge breaking news right now. Bruce Arians is out as head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He is done. He has stepped down. He has retired. And Todd Bowles is going to become the new head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Say what you want, whether you believe that he retired, whether you believe that he was fired. This is really, really juicy. Let's look at some of Bruce's comments and then let's talk about bigger picture. What does this mean? Is this a fallout from his, struggling relationship with Tom Brady? Was this a Tom Brady power play? To me, it looks like Tom Brady has won. He has gotten his way, and it looks like this might be the reason why he chose to come back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because Bruce Arians is no longer the head coach. Let's get into Bruce Arians' comments. So Bruce Arians is 69 years old, and he's going to be stepping down as head coach. He will remain with the team for the remainder of his contract, but he will be in a front office type of role. And he says that, succession has always been a big thing for him. He wanted the organization to be in a good place. He's saying for himself, for his future, he doesn't need to win another 15 games to be happy. He'd rather see Todd Bowles in a position to be successful and not have to take a bad job. And he said that, it was likely that he was going to decide to retire at the end of the next football season for the 2022 season. So he said he'd rather control the narrative and he would rather just basically step down now. And he was asked about the friction between himself and Tom Brady. And he said, look, I've had conflicts with every player I coached because I cussed them all out, including Brady. But then he says that he's had a great relationship with Brady off the field. And, Arians is saying, look, I'm going to still be at the practices. I'll be in the front office, whatever they need me to do. He said he's going to be a heavy hand in the draft because he has a good rapport with the GM. And he said, but during games, he's not going to be on the sidelines because basically, he gets too emotional. He's going to get the team penalties, whatever. And, he goes on for a while, but basically he's just saying like he felt it's a good time. The team's in a good place. He feels good about stepping down now. And so Todd Bowles, he is the new coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We know that Tom Brady and Todd Bowles have an excellent relationship. Tom Brady, Todd Bowles, Byron Leftwich, all of those guys have been on the same page. They have a great relationship. So I think this is great news for the Bucs. It's great news for Tom Brady. I think this is something that Tom Brady wanted. We saw so much drama in this offseason, so much drama about the relationship between Tom Brady and Bruce Arians, about the conflicts, about how Bruce Arians was meddling in the offense and Tom felt like the team couldn't get in a flow and it affected their performance. We saw the rumors about Tom wanting to go to San Francisco, Tom wanting to go to Miami, and what is causing all of this. And then we saw Tom attend the soccer game with Bucs brass. And basically shortly after that conversation, whatever was discussed there, it gave the confidence to Tom to be able to come out of retirement. And I think during that trip, trip to the soccer game that Tom went with the Bucs top brass, I think it was agreed that basically they would have Bruce Arians step down. Of course, it's pure speculation on my part. It's just what I believe. I believe that Tom Brady's retirement, I think it was a power play. I do think that Tom was willing to move on if he was unable to get things organized in Tampa how he wanted it to be. He was willing to go to San Fran. Maybe he was willing to consider, being moved to Miami. But he was also willing to come back to the Bucs, obviously, under certain conditions. If things were going to be tuned in such a way that he felt would give himself and the team the best chance to win. Obviously, that was able to happen. The thing that I see in these comments is if Bruce is saying he wasn't really planning on stepping down until after this current season, something prodded him, something pushed him in that direction. And I think Bucs ownership basically said, like, look, man, we're going to need you to step down. We want you to go in the front office. We need to have this in a little bit of a better direction. So from my personal perspective, this is an ultimate power move by Tom Brady. Tom Brady has won. I believe that Bruce Arians has been essentially fired. He's been pushed aside. Obviously, they're going to pay out his contract. He'll remain with the organization, but it's going to be more like a token position, in my opinion. Todd Bowles is the new head coach. I think it's phenomenal news. I think this is an exciting day. If you were a Bucs fan, and but really interested to see how you guys weigh on this situation. This is really shocking breaking news. So please, weigh in the comment section below. Do you believe that Bruce Arians is actually stepping down of his own volition? Do you believe that he was pushed aside? Do you believe that this was a ultimate Tom Brady power move? Tom has got his way, Tom has won, and Bruce has actually been fired. That's where I stand on this side of the situation. But what say you? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.